Hey everybody, Dave Lerner, Venture Studio. We have Paul Holland here from Foundation Capital, investors in Chegg, Netflix, and Enternoc. He's here in New York City. We're going to be talking about his new documentary, Something Ventured, and his view on investing in clean tech and many other fields. Paul, welcome. Great to see you.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate it.
Is this a labor of love, Something Ventured? What's it all about?
It really was inspired by interaction I had with a guy named Bill Edwards. And Bill's one of the founding venture capitalists in the Silicon Valley, began his practice back in 1955. And Bill began to tell me stories about how all the original ventures were funded. And I'd never heard any of these stories before. So as I left a lunch that I was having with Bill, it sort of occurred to me, maybe we should try to get some of these guys on film because they're all in their 80s now. It might be a good idea to kind of characterize their stories a little bit and organize them.
So it's the tale of the founding fathers of Silicon Valley and how this whole industry started?
Yeah, so what we do is we learn from Bill and the other gentlemen in the film, so we profile 9 different venture capitalists, that the whole industry really started around a handful of men that used to meet up in San Francisco at a couple of different lunch places, Sam's and Tadich's. They'd invite entrepreneurs to come up and they'd say, you know, Dave, you got a great idea. We've only got $300,000 between all of us that we can put into your idea, and he'll do 50 and he'll do 100 and I'll do 50 and so forth. And they funded 20 or 30 companies that way, and then that then sprang forth to be what is the modern venture capital industry in California.
When can we watch this documentary?
So the documentary is actually showing all over the country. We've been very, very fortunate. We debuted at South by Southwest, and then Janet Pearson put us in the New York Times article, and then everything took off from there. So we're in about 30 film festivals around the world. It's showing in all the major cities in some time or another. You just have to go onto the website, which is somethingventuredthemovie.com.
You do a lot of investing. You've met a lot of entrepreneurs over the years. What is it about them that lets them push through in the great entrepreneurs?
Well, I think there's a combination of traits that we see in people. One is just a sense of optimism. They have a strong drive. They believe in themselves, and they believe that they're going to be able to put together something that's going to succeed. The other is that they have just a very, very strong sense of mission. And I think part of it is just simply determination, and tenacity. Those are the things that seem to be invaluable in terms of what we see in entrepreneurs. Because there's always going to be some huge thing that's going to feel like it's going to, be a speed bump you can't get over. And the best ones find a way to do it.
So let's talk about investing. Foundation Capital, you guys invest across the board, a lot of clean tech, a lot of software as a service, consumer internet. What are you focused on these days?
When we look at the current crop of things that we're looking at, there's a huge range of exciting things that are going on. The explosion around video and all the infrastructure that needs to be done to manage video, and we have a number of companies working in that area. The explosion around mobile and the notion of mobile IT. We've got a company called Mobile Iron that's right in the heart of that, and it's doing very, very well with that. On the consumer side, companies like Chegg appealing to college students, renting college textbooks at a time like this, saving money for families that are trying to send their kids to college is a really big deal.
And Paul, I know you've been very big on clean tech, green tech. You're known for having the greenest house in the United States. Could you tell us a little about what you've done?
So we have the highest lead point house for a custom home in the U.S. So it's a little bit of a qualifier, but it is a very green house. We call it net energy positive, so it actually creates more energy than it uses. And then the house is designed to power all the cars. So one of our design rules for our family was to try to get our family off of oil and sort of out of the gas station business. Beyond that, we recycle all the water on the property. We have all native flora and fauna. We've taken all the fences down. We have only 4 materials in the house. We have metal, glass, stone, and wood. And we've tried to keep it really clean and really environmentally sound from that perspective. Also, no paint, stains, or varnishes. It's a little bit unusual in that sense. It's all naked wood, basically.
You and I are huge advocates for student entrepreneurship.
That's right.
You took one of your first clean tech companies out of Dartmouth's Tuck School and backed 2 entrepreneurs out of there.
That's right.
Tell the students and entrepreneurs watching this, how they should be thinking while they're in school.
Well, I think if you look at someone like, the Enternoc story is a terrific one from that perspective. Tim Healy and David Brewster, 2 students. I happened to be at Dartmouth giving a talk. This is 10 years ago. They came up after the talk, then they came to the office hours afterwards, and then they came to the dinner afterwards. So they're very tenacious guys, very smart guys, very driven, had a passion. And their passion was around this notion of making the electric grid more efficient. We followed the company for a while. One of my partners, Adam Grosser, ended up making the investment in the company. We became the dominant investors. The company was worth over $1 billion at one point. So when I go and speak to students at various schools, I tell them I'm looking for another Enternoc. So I'm looking for determined entrepreneurs. They have a passion around the idea that they're working on. They're ferocious entrepreneurs and managers, and to this day are leading the industry-leading segment company in their segment.
Paul, thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us today. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Venture Studio in association with Mashable is brought to you by Square One Bank.